Hello. Today we'll be spending a day with the Densons, President and publisher of the Black Pages, Howard Denson, and President Vickie Denson of the St. Louis Black Pages. Today, and we'll be talking about humanity and other things today on The Bernie Hayes Show. And welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes, and my guests are the Reverend Dr. Howard Denson and Deaconess Vickie Denson. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here, as always.
It's so good to see you both. It's been a couple of years since we've visited. And Howard, you've been,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just so glad to see you both. Tell us, Vickie, you're the president of the Black Pages. Tell us about the Black Pages, St. Louis Black Pages.
Well, you know, the Black Page has been around for a long time, and I feel really, really happy. And I guess really blessed. I guess blessed is the real word. That here in St. Louis, that we've been around for so many years. I mean, we're actually ready to work on our 28th edition right now. And, you know, the pandemic kind of gave us a little headache there.
Sure.
But we're still here. I want people to know that we have been here, have always been printing. And Howard and I are working on what to do to revamp the next edition to just keep it going, keep it better. But, you know, it's a little bit concerning sometimes when I hear people say, oh, is the Black Pages still printing? And, you know, we're printing 70,000 copies a year.
Yeah.
You know, over the last, I guess, years of printing, we've given away over 2 million books. That's a lot of books. So we're still here, we're still going, and we're still printing. And, you know, we love it. It's what we do. We think the Black community really needs us, and we'll always be here as long as we can.
Yeah, Bunny, we think we might have depended on the grocery chains a little bit too much for our distribution.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to the past and have books in every Black establishment that exists.
Well, as editor and publisher, Howard, what's the future of the Black Pages?
You know, Bernie, I think the future is so bright, it's unbelievable. We're hiring people right now. We literally think we'll double in size to the next edition and then add another 50% on top of that, which will put us at our peak. And we think that the key to that is that Black people are more into Black people now, given the Michael Brown era and the Black Lives Matter. We're ready to start supporting each other again. There's much more emphasis on our economic welfare and being, and of course that's what the Black Pages is all about, you know, being able to identify what each other are offering to the community so that we can recirculate those dollars and make them do double time and triple time. And the magazine aspect, you know, we're a flip publication.
Sure.
On the other side, we're the Transformational Agenda magazine. I mean, the accolades we get for that are just unbelievable. And frankly, it is quite a fantastic magazine. This year was kind of unique in that everything related to a single topic. It's your life, so take the leap. You know, there were 4 major articles. One on not missing the Black Renaissance, you know, one on evaluating yourself, if you will, analyze, choose, and visualize, on more empowering you. There was an article on the power of you, and then finally, take the transformational leap into your beloved new being. So when you bring that all together, the single theme is you have more power than you realize, a lot more. And if you realize that, then you can step into that power and pretty much achieve anything you want. So we're very, very happy with this one.
I've been knowing you for a long, long time, both of you, but I never see one without the other.
You know, it's almost like we're one person, Bernie.
Almost.
You know,
Not quite, almost.
how long have we been married, dear?
37 years.
And we've always worked together. It's not a day in those 37 years that we didn't work side by side.
Okay, do you both have the same vision for the Black Pages and the Transformational Agenda?
We do, Bernie.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we love our people, and the essence of us is let's do all we can to improve our condition, irrespective of all the isms and everything else. And honestly, we believe that if we do that, nobody will be able to treat us the way they treat us now.
I notice you both have an Afrocentric point of view. And Howard, what's that emblem around your neck.
Oh, you're talking about Ma'at. Yes. This was actually acquired in Egypt, Bernie. Ma'at is a symbol from ancient Egypt, or Kemet, that represents all things good and wonderful and balanced in the universe. Some people call her God's emissary, but the important thing is there were 42, I call them character traits. Some people call them negative confessions, admonitions, that made the Ten Commandments look like child's play, which just established a standard for life that was enormously high. And as I have gone through my life, constantly analyzing how can the black community love itself more, I realized that culture is everything. And their culture started with an assumption, essentially, that everybody was a piece of God. And as a result, everybody should act like that. They should have a very high standard of behavior in interaction with one another. And I think we as a people, through slavery, our culture was stripped away.
Sure.
And we were forced to live a very ugly culture. And that the real deal today is we never examined that institution and how it affected us. So we never took out a clean sheet of paper and said, okay, this is a culture we were forced to live.
Okay.
Now, how do we choose to and how do we get there? So that's what we're all about. And we think we're just getting warmed up. You think the best is yet to come, Barry.
Yeah. Each time I visit your offices, every time I see artifacts, especially historical artifacts, especially related to Egypt or to Europe or to Africa. And who curates that?
Well, we both do. Actually, Howard, he's the artist, I guess, of love of art. I love art, but he actually educated me even more. But so I kind of piggyback on him. But then I came around and it's like, some pieces I say, okay, we got to have this, we got to have that. But if you look at our office, our house, it's mostly Afrocentric art. We love supporting the local artists also as they're coming up, and at some point they'll be well known. Yeah. And it's not, we don't do it for for gain of monetary gain. We do it because we buy the art that we like, and we like to support.
And it's certainly beautiful,
it
too.
It nurtures us.
Yes.
Oh, you have wonderful, wonderful pieces there.
I only jokingly say that art is food for the soul, and we can't get enough soul food. I mean, we have 11 pieces in our bedroom and bathrooms, hallways.
He says it speaks to him.
we turned 2 dining room tables into display tables. I mean, it's art on the piano.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Mrs. Denson, I understand that you've been a caretaker here late for Howard.
Well, yeah, Howard's had 2 major surgeries. I call him the bionic man because he's got a complete new spine. So, and it's been 7 years, between surgeries. He had one in 2017, then this past year. So it's been, it's been long, and it's, but when you're married for life, as we see it anyway. He's my partner, and I'm there to take care of him and continue doing all that I do. He would have done the same thing for me, Today, it seems like people don't take that marriage vow very, they don't take it seriously. But, in our day, and then in being married, you see, we took it quite serious about, in it for life and, partnership for life.
We were bumping on the road for a minute, Bernie, and Vickie said something I'll always remember. She said, when I took those vows, I made a commitment for life.
That's wonderful. Well,
I couldn't love her more. Anybody that knows me knows how much I love my wife.
It certainly shows. I mean, that's been proven. There's no doubt about that.
But really, Bernie, I was down and out for 7 years.
7 years.
I mean, and I maintained a positive being, but as I look back, I mean, I was totally engrossed in trying to get back my physical and mental being.
Yeah.
And my wife just never missed a beat. She carried on with the business. She carried on with helping to care for me. The first time I heard somebody call her a caretaker, she probably appreciates that description, Bernie.
Well, she's been taking good care of you.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt about that.
Is, my whole life.
We're visiting with the Densons today. I'm Bernie Hayes with the New Life Evangelistic Center, 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. Reverend Larry Rice, since moving from 1411 Locust Street, is also providing the same services that he provided down there for those in need. And we'll be right back with the Densons after this.
As we celebrate 50 years of God's faithfulness, how I thank God for all the years that we've been able to work side by side with Bernie Hayes. What a blessing this man has been, and what a blessing all of you all have been as you've continued to partner with New Life Evangelistic Center so we can feed the hungry, shelter the homeless, reach out and be a family to those that have no family at all. Now, as we're celebrating 50 years of God's faithfulness, I'm asking you to pray that we can get back into 1411 Locust at this particular moment. It was such a hideous crime when rich folks move in the neighborhood, shut that building down and put the homeless on the street. So many are suffering out there. Now, if you'd like myself or my grandson, Chris Aaron, to come and share with your church or business or group, please call us at 314-421-302. Yes, we're celebrating 50 years of God's faithfulness, thanking God for Bernie Hayes and all of his supporters and all of you that have been praying. The door's open now. We want to move into 1411 Locust. We've got to complete the work. Through your prayers, through your involvement, we can make a difference. It's New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri.
Behind me is the New Life Evangelistic Center administrative offices in Overland, Missouri. And this is where we shoot our shows for our worship shows and the Here's Help Network. And it's also where Zakid Baruti and Bernie Hayes shoot their shows. You can find all of these shows at the New Life Evangelistic Center app, the NLEC TV app. You can also access them on your tablet or on your computer. And this is how you can stay up to date with all the things that New Life Evangelistic Center is doing. There are so many different programs that we've got going on, and God is doing many exciting things through partners like you. So if you want to support the work that New Life is doing, then please access and give through the app. You can go online at nlecstl.org or give us a call at 314-421-3020. Again, 314-421-3020. But this is the best way to get plugged into the amazing work that New Life is doing through people like you. And so there is something for you to get involved in today. And we are so thankful for our partners. Only through the grace of God and your gift are we able to bless others today.
I'm Bernie Hayes, and welcome back. The Densons are my guest today, Deaconess Vickie Denson and Reverend Dr. Howard Denson. Mrs. Denson, tell us about the Black Pages. What are they all about? What's that for? What's the purpose?
Okay, well, the Black Pages is a combination magazine and directory. And of course, our target market is the Black community. Of course, anyone can advertise, anyone can use it, but we believe that we have a kind of unique niche whereby small businesses can advertise with us who really don't have that real budget to advertise in, big newspapers and big, TV and all that. So we're here to reach out to the African American community and to corporations that we're here, and it's important that you reach out to the Black community through a media that actually speaks to us. And
You mentioned circulation. How many do you distribute?
Well, we're distributing 70,000 books per year. And so that's a lot of pallets of books.
Think tractor trailer loads.
And our magazine, it's 2 in 1. So, it's a flip publication. One side is the directory, the other side is the magazine.
Right.
And, we print articles that we think our community needs. And, to be empowered, because we are an empowered people. We just have to learn how to use that power.
Pumping that many magazines into that many homes, Bernie, we also felt a responsibility to encourage and challenge and educate the community to empower itself even more. So it wasn't long before we had a full-blown magazine.
Sure. Well, you've been very, very aggressive talking about the transformation agenda on this program here and other places that you've done. So how's it coming?
It's doing great, Bernie.
Tell the people that there are actually 2 magazines in that one publication.
Right.
Yeah, it's a flip publication. Read from one side is the business directory, read from the other side is a magazine. And the magazine is now entitled the Transformational Agenda magazine. It's basically an empowerment magazine serving the African American community, addressing issues of importance to us. But the name actually comes from something else. During my entire life, I've been struggling with what's up with Black folk. Why do we do wacky, self-destructive things? Why are we traumatizing each other at such a large level? Why aren't we getting the traction that everybody else gets? And of course, we know about the isms and all of that, but the theory was it was something we probably didn't even know that we didn't know existed, which was restraining us, and that if we could identify it, we could solve it.
Right.
And it took 30 years to figure it out, Bernie. And then I went through an 8-year period where I called Boxing with God, where people told me to teach it, and I taught it to 1,000 people and 300 mental health professionals. And the outcomes were just astounding. Just pure and simple astounding. People are being transformed in a single day. So let me announce some very exciting news here. There's such a thing as a Google ad grant. You know, if they like you enough, they don't give you cash, but they give you an advertising allowance that you can draw against. Yeah. And we got one for $10,000, Bernie, a month. A month. So as we enter into 2023, we start with $120,000 worth of Google AdWords search advertising. And we know that we'll generate income because mental health professionals are used to paying a couple $100 for a day of training, and they just love it. You know, for them, we call it understanding cultural intergenerational trauma.
Okay.
Unconscious cultural intergenerational trauma. Case study in African Americans. And everybody gets a whole new perspective on the African American community, and it's a very empowering thing. So we carried that message, that theme, the word transformation, if you will, because what we found is it doesn't take years of counseling and all of that for somebody to transform their lives. It just takes a change in awareness.
I notice that spirituality has also been a main part of not only your business, but your private lives. Tell us about that.
Well, you know, Bernie, you introduced me as Reverend Doctor, and I have to get used to that. I am been ordained in the Divine Science Church. It's a New Thought church. We're Christian, but Christianity believing that God has no interest whatsoever in judging or punishing us. That God is love. He created everything, including us, so we're all little pieces of God. And should act like it. You know, we don't have some negative force embedded in us that we have to fight against our whole lives. God is not going to torture us for all eternity. We're immortal souls. You know, this is just probably a little weekend trip to planet Earth. So I am part of a very special church. Unlike any most people have ever seen. We embrace everyone, and we mean that literally, every race, every religion. We're not asking anybody to give up a traditional faith-based belief system. Our theology is as simple that I just described it, right? Yeah. And guess what, Bernie? Google has blessed the Center for Divine Love with $10,000 a month of free advertising as well. So 2023 is on, man. You know, we want to put 100,000 people literally through the training, the Transformational Agenda, and we want to build our internet Sunday morning, 10:30, you know, Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, church audience to 100,000 as well.
Doctor,
we're on it. Now, I'm not pastor. I'm on the board.
I understand.
But Nia Tumpe is our chaplain. And
I want to know,
as well.
As Deaconess Vickie Denson, what's your vision and how do you support your husband's vision and efforts?
Well, you know, I'm not a member of his church. I'm still pretty dedicated to my church, Washington Metropolitan,
sure.
AME Zion. But, you know, I see what they do. I see the vision. I really appreciate what they do, and they invite any and everybody. But I think most churches do, but not to the extent that they are. And they're non-denominational. So I support him. I'm his support. I attend the church, you know, sometimes, and I truly enjoy. And they're not sermons. They have different speakers every week, which I enjoy to hear, you know, listening to what each one of them have to offer. And you know, it's a short service, but I really enjoy it. The music is off the chain. But I love my church. And so I'm not ready yet to, you know.
And we're not asking Vickie
and they're not asking me to.
family.
I'm dedicated to Washington Metropolitan right now.
She's ordained as a lifetime deaconess, and she's happy.
But we support each other, so.
Yeah.
And what is the formula for you two being so close, even though you attend separate churches, but you're both spiritual? And what was the secret of staying together so long, 37 years?
It's a good question, and I'm interested in my wife's answer. But for me, it is that she is the warmest, most loving, supportive, caring individual that I know on the planet, other than myself, of course. and we share that. You know, we share a love for Black people. We share a burning desire to uplift the community and to help us be all that we can and should be. But I just love her. You know.
We work together pretty good. I mean, you know, there are disagreements. It's not perfect. But we're partners in everything.
You know, we have a new partner too, Bernie. Vickie's mom, it was time for her to come out of the Bronx.
Okay.
So we bought a different house where she could have her own space, and I'm just really enjoying having her with us.
I can imagine. How can we get the Black Pages?
You know, you can get the Black Pages, first of all, online. Just go to black-pages.com. It'll be two gigantic buttons. One will take you to the magazine, one will take you to the directory. But it's funny you bring it up, Bernie, because we're so concerned about these people that say, you know, are you still in business, that we actually did an additional printing. We printed an extra 35,000 copies that we're going to start distributing right around the first of the year, but through different channels, you know, not through the grocery chains, but through every Black business, every Black church, every Black anything. So we want to get back to those days when during distribution season, you can't move in the Black community without running the Black Pages racks everywhere.
Okay.
But if you would just, you know, if you call the number 314-531-7300, I can tell you where you can find the Black Pages. I mean, there's racks throughout the city that we continue to have and refill when needed. And then some of the grocery stores still have books there.
And if you want to advertise, you can call the same number.
314-531-7300. Okay, we're going to take a short break again and come back and talk with the Densons again. We'll be right back.
As we look at the beginning of a new year, there are some really exciting things that we need you to get involved in here at New Life Evangelistic Center. New Life is committed to being there when people are hurting. So please continue to pray that we're able to open up a day center in St. Louis to glorify God by ministering to people who are suffering without this much needed service. There are so many people who have nowhere to go throughout the day, and we can make a difference together as we pray, as we give, and as we serve in this particular way. Please also pray for all of the other areas in New Life where we are ministering to people, whether that be one-on-one or as a group. There are many exciting events that are going to be coming up, and I want you to stay tuned. Call us at 314-421-3020 or go to our site online.
Our subject today, Maggie Lena Walker. At the turn of the century, Maggie Lena Walker was one of the foremost female business leaders in the United States. She gained national prominence when she became the first woman to own a bank in the United States, and her entrepreneurial skills transformed Black business practices while also inspiring other women to enter the field. She broke race and gender barriers as the first woman to establish and serve as president of a U.S. bank. Magdalena Mitchell, a daughter of a former slave, went to public schools in Richmond, Virginia, became a teacher, and established a newspaper before founding the St. Luke Penny Savings Bank in 1903. She later served as board chairman of the bank when merged with the other two Richmond banks. The resulting entity in 2009 was recognized as the nation's oldest continually African-American operated bank. On December 15, 1934, Walker died from complications due to diabetes, and her house in Richmond, Virginia has since become designated as a National Historic Site by the National Park Service. Maggie Lena Walker.
Do you feel overwhelmed at this particular time? Needs coming at you from every direction? Anxiety building up within you to scream, I can't take it anymore? Go on a prayer walk. Let the rivers of living water flow through you. Let the Word of God come alive within you. For example, at Philippians 4, 6, and 7, where it says, do not be anxious for anything, but every situation with prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. So come to God at this moment. Talk to God. Be anxious for nothing, but everything with prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. Let your requests be made known to God, and allow His peace, His rivers of living water that passes all understanding, sweep through your life right now, and watch Him do exceedingly beyond what you can even ask or think.
And welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes. My guests are the Densons, Howard and Vickie, and they're the editor, publisher, president of the Black Pages, St. Louis Black Pages. Mr. Denson and Mrs. Denson, both of you, how can we get the Black Pages? How can we reach you? How can we get more information about them?
Okay, there are many locations throughout the city and county that actually have racks that hold the Black Pages for the full year, throughout the year. We have distributors that continually refill them. There, Walgreens, some supermarkets. Now, when we first came out with the 27th edition, they go really fast from the supermarket, but there's some still out there. But if you can't find one, please call the number 314-531-7300, and I can point you to a location that may be near to where you live or work that you can find a book.
And remember, right after the first of the year, we're releasing another 35,000 copies.
Yes, we did a second printing.
So wherever you visit a Black business, you should be able to find it.
Yeah.
I got mine downtown, and it's such a pleasure to see it every year. There's the Black Pages. What have the Black Pages brought to the African American community, Howard?
I think first and foremost, Bernie, it makes imminent sense for us to do business with each other. It just does. Nothing else makes sense. Oppressed people need to work together to mitigate their own oppression, and improve their welfare. And how else do you find out who's out there? I mean, how else do you know what Black businesses and Black professionals are out there reaching out for your patronage, except through the Black Pages?
And that ad lasts for a full year, so
and
you get the benefit of that.
There's real value in print, I mean, first of all, you can compare businesses within the same category, with your little phone, one business at a time. You got to search between, but also it gives you plenty of time to consume your Black Pages. And whenever needs arise throughout the year, there we are pointing you at an African American that can fulfill your needs.
We have about 3 minutes left. Is there any questions that I didn't ask you that you wanted to talk about?
There is an appeal I'd like to make. Both in terms of transformational healing, the nonprofit and the training that we do.
Sure.
In terms of my church, the Center for Divine Love, and our desire to build a national presence. I mean, we're doing like a 4-camera shoot, Bernie. I mean, near professional quality. And we think that the content and the theology is ridiculously empowering. I mean, it sounds like a simple twist, God is love, but we're his agents on planet Earth, and we should act like it, pure and simple. And so we need help with these things, including the Black Pages. We need people to point us to that person in their corporation that would make the decision to advertise, to support these events. We need volunteers.
Yeah, the last few times you were on a mission to save humanity, more or less. How's that mission coming, Howard?
Bernie, I get kicked down, if you will, with this back. I have 2 rods and screws in every vertebrae, literally from my tailbone to my neck. And that first surgery was a 5-year recovery, and right behind that, I had to go right back under the knife again.
I understand your wife took over that.
But I'm back. I'm back. And 23 is going to be the year, bro. And people who love their community and want to be a part of its resurrection, if you will, give us a call. There's all kinds of volunteer activities. You can become a part-time salesperson of Black Pages. You can help with distribution. You can help with these retreats that we're going to be giving all over the place and processing registrations. We're looking for people who are committed to the transformation of the African American community to come and get with us, and let's get it done.
531-7300. 314-531-7300. Howard Denson, Vickie Denson, Mr. and Mrs. Denson, thank you so very much for being with me today.
Thank you, Bernie.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
God bless you both. And stay safe and stay healthy. And each and every one of you, thank you for supporting the New Life Evangelistic Center. We're 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. Reverend Larry Rice has been providing services for those in need for over 50 years. I'm Bernie Hayes. Have a great day. If you're not vaccinated, please get your shots. See you next time.